what's going on, everybody? It's the Double Chen Show. Again, follow us on Instagram if you haven't already. Also, me on Snapchat or him on Snapchat. I don't know.
I'm not
much.
posting anything. I'm just still trying to figure out how the whole thing
I'm
works.
snapping. That's what it's called. No.
It's so annoying. Like I flick it and it just all of a sudden it changes.
You know what I hate about this app? I would be snapping somebody, right?
right.
And then because your message disappears. And so
Right.
they write a response, let's say a day later.
Okay.
And you see the response,
forget.
but you forgot what you said before that. So you're like, what? It's because the response will be okay. And you're like,
Can I just ask you, what happened to the good old days of AOL instant messaging?
yeah, that's dead. That's dead.
Let's bring those back. All right.
So this story we're bringing up today is kind of messed up.
It's pretty messed up.
There's this teenage tennis star. Her name is, I'm sorry if I pronounced it.
Andrada Cernunu, maybe.
Yeah, Ioana Andrada
right.
Cernunu.
Right.
So anyway, she's a 16-year-old tennis star. I think she's ranked like 200 and something in the world.
She's pretty good.
Yeah, she's pretty good. So she lost a match.
Yeah.
And then she got beat up by her dad for losing the match. Basically, in a nutshell.
Dad, who is her coach, which is pretty typical.
Yes.
When you're talking about child athlete stars.
Right.
Then, didn't stop there.
Right.
So the daughter gets slapped, hit by her dad. Okay.
Like pretty bad. Broke her nose.
That's really bad.
Yes.
So pretty bad. There was blood
Yep.
streaming down, and then the mom is like defending the dad.
Yeah, the mom's defending the dad. Which, honestly, it sounds very Chinesey.
It's so Chinese. It's like, yeah, she didn't win the match. What's your point? Like, you know what's ridiculous? To like a lot of people in the world,
Yes.
this stuff is like okay.
Yes.
It's
Especially
not okay.
in the East. They're from Romania.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, if this happened in China, it'd probably be the same reaction.
Yeah.
Okay, he beat her daughter. I mean, he beat his daughter.
I can't speak for the Middle East, although I would imagine it's similar. I can't speak for other
That's
parts.
Eastern Europe, yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
but look, in China, it's gonna be like, yeah, our child got second place
Yeah, we
in the
beat
spelling
them.
bee.
Yeah.
And that's to teach them a lesson so
Right.
they don't lose again.
We talk a lot about parental abuse. We talked a lot about this in the last month or so because a lot of it happened. You know, we had a lot of spousal abuse.
Absolutely.
And we talk a lot about Asian parents and what's crossing the line between discipline and abuse. This is crazy.
Exactly. In America, I mean, this happened this year.
Yes.
You know, Adrian Peterson, NFL
Yep,
star,
yep.
got suspended
Yep.
indefinitely.
Yep.
Ray Rice suspended indefinitely for
Yep.
beating his wife.
Yep.
This is international, so nothing's gonna happen to the dad. But at least online, people are making light of what he did.
Right.
You know, he should be thrown out. You know what? And you don't want to penalize the daughter, but you know. This guy, you should not be laying a hand, especially on your daughter.
So here's what happened. Like the girl, supposedly, every time, first of all, this is kind of also messed up.
Right.
A lot of these Asian or Eastern European parents, their mindset's kind of similar.
Right.
A lot of them, you know, it says in the article, he gave up his military career to culture. That kind of sounds to me like they're kind of pinning their hopes on their daughter becoming like a big shot, tennis star in the future. So when the daughter loses a match, right away the punishment is take away her phone.
Yeah.
Which already is kind of like, all right, so this isn't just like fun and games. This isn't just like have a good time, honey. This is more like do it, or there's some consequences, negative consequences. Also here, so they were about to take away her phone in this case, and she threw her phone at her dad, which you shouldn't do. All right, you shouldn't do that, obviously. And then he got mad and just slapped her twice.
It's definitely such a deep thing where a lot of these cultures, like China, okay, think about it. So many Chinese parents put their hopes in their kid. That's why like you see, like let's say a Chinese kid is doing a recital, and they have a chance of becoming like a orchestral phenomenon. And the parents like get so irate, like. You know, all the Western parents, I went through this, right? My mom was never that bad to me, but I've seen other Asian kids, like I do a recital, I misplay a few notes. The Western people in the audience don't care. And they're like, oh, great job. Great job, Danny. Asian parents are like, you missed a note. And it's like, parents, stop right now. Do not put your hopes and dreams in your kid. As a parent, take command of your own life. You know what? You know what's a good parent? They come to America or other places, work your ass off, and make a life for your kids. You know, don't think that you're the hopes and dreams. You're gonna ruin that kid's life.
That's an issue. Like in China or a lot of Eastern countries, there's this kind of like, status quo formula where, all right, I raised you. When I get older, you take care of me. That's kind of like how it goes, which, you know what, is fine. As kids, we want to take care of our parents. Sure. Like you take care of your mom, sure. I take care of my parents. You know, we do that. We support them any way we can, financially, whatever it is.
Right.
But my parents were neither, I think, your parents,
nor my parents.
Never expected like me to be like, okay, Mike, we need you to get this job and do this and be this kind of person. So in the future, we can live on a yacht.
Exactly. Or, right. And, you know, me and you, we always talk about how Chinese our parents are. Well, more so your parents.
Yes.
My parents are like Asian hippies. But the one thing that, you know, I have to commend our parents on doing is they never, ever put us in a position where if we feel like we didn't succeed, our whole family would go down.
Right.
They never did that.
Right.
Therefore, we can, you know, explore options and we can live to our fullest potential.
And I think this is why a lot of times, if you look at, I don't know the exact stats, but I know this to be true.
Right.
The suicide rates for Asians in Asian countries is quite high.
Right.
Some of the highest in the world. 16-year-old little girl who's, I don't even know if she likes tennis. She might not. She might not even like tennis. I don't know. And this girl is like punished every single time she is, you know, she loses a match.
Right.
And you can tell right out from this that, oh, she's a typically good kid. Afterwards she said, well, it's not my dad's fault. I said some really bad things I shouldn't have said. He gave up so much for me. That's like a script for every Asian kid. It's like, my parents gave up so much for me.
Reading it word for word.
Right. And that might be the case, but also like she is basically living her life to be whatever her parents want her to be.
Exactly.
And you know what? If she chooses that life, if she's happy with it, fine.
Right.
But never cross the line between helping your kid, developing your kid, and abusing your kid.
And never use that as an excuse. Look, if today you were like, you got a kid, you were like, I'm gonna sacrifice a lot for the kid.
Right.
Great, do it. But never use that as a reason to hurt them.
Yeah.
Oh, I sacrificed for you.
Yeah, I give up 5 years of my life for you. That at least gives me 5 slaps, right?
Yeah. And you know, this is where it's really hard to give advice, and we try to do this sometimes because a lot of Asian kids will ask us like, you know, my parents and I, you know, they expect me to do this. And this is where I stand. Like, at a certain point, you got to live your life.
Yeah.
If that means defying your parents aren't always right.
Yeah, my parents made me, when I first went into school, they were like, you need to be a computer science major. No changing majors. Otherwise, we won't pay for your college. We won't pay for your education. And it was like the most stressful year of my life. I literally wanted to just be like, you know what? I'm just going to go drop out and join the military.
So they did a little bit of that. A little bit. It was
kind of crazy.
Yeah. A little bit.
And finally, I was able to get away with another major they were kind of okay with. But they were like, if you ever change again. But then my parents obviously, you know.
Right. But from what you're saying is that like creates so much tension and
to the kids, it creates a lot of resentment. Like I resented my parents for that. Because you are living your life. Hear this, Asian parents or other parents that are like this, your kids will resent you.
They will. I mean, there are definitely a lot of cool Asian parents out there. A lot of my friends have cool Asian parents. So we're not talking, obviously, you guys are the exception to the rule. But for the most part, it is like we said. And, you know, just consider your kids. You know what I mean? So.
All right, guys, let us know what your thoughts are on this story in the comments below. Thanks for watching.
Peace.
See you.